Good morning, OHS. Welcome to podcast number 2. And today I'm here with
Mr. Jared.
Mr. Jared. Are you excited for the podcast?
I am. Never done one before. I've done some radio interviews, but I've never done a podcast. So here we are.
Okay, let's jump into it. So for question number 1, what do you teach?
Teach U.S. history primarily, but also teaching conspiracy theory. I've done some pop culture, but primarily U.S. history.
Okay. If you could teach another subject, what would you teach and why?
Kind of going into it, I think just like me being a former athlete, I thought, PE, health, something like that would be interesting, go along with some of the stuff that I would do. But if that could be the one other thing, I would like to teach, some kind of physical education or health.
Would you be like the gym teacher that wears like the shorts?
Oh,
and
I'd have short shorts, maybe even a tank top. I'd be like my middle school. I'd wear a shirt that was too small, trying to show off any muscles that I had. But no, definitely the short shorts, yes.
Okay. What's your favorite hobbies outside of school? Like, what do you do outside of teaching? I'd say.
A couple different things I used to do. Definitely, I still try to jog a little bit. Used to say I run, now I jog. Try to do some of that with my daughters. Weekends, I do play disc golf. Something that I've done for the last probably 15, 20 years.
Is that where you like throw the frisbee into the thing?
It is. It's golf with a frisbee. Yes.
I've never understood that.
But it's
shame in it.
It's one of those where I play golf. I play basketball. I play football. Do all those other things. I was just never big enough to be any good. Something like disc golf is one of those sports that's kind of on the outskirts. I've always enjoyed it. I can take what I know of ball golf, and it's less expensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't take as long. There's courses everywhere. So no, I really enjoy it. So go out and play. Every so often, a couple weekends, and it's a lot of fun. Other than that, actually, I just bought a motorcycle like a year ago. So
be careful.
I do drive, a motorcycle. I by no means am a motorcycle guy. I wear a helmet. I got the shin guards. I got the elbow guards. I've got everything.
Elbow guards?
I am embarrassingly cautious when I drive, but it's fun.
It's like the number one thing, motorcycle accidents.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Share your biggest strengths and weaknesses as a teacher.
As a teacher?
Yes.
For me, I think a lot of times people come into my class and not really sure what they're going to get. But I don't really feel like I changed throughout the entire year. And I think it takes a lot of people, several weeks, if not several months, to really kind of get to know me. They come in, they're shy, they don't want to talk, and then they realize that, me as a teacher, I honestly am just kind of like one of them. One of the things that I tell my class is that, I have been in a classroom since I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. Right? All the way through college, all the way, then there's about a year that I taught, or I worked outside of school, then I got a job as a teacher. So I've always been in a classroom. So I vividly remember what it's like to sit at a desk, to listen to a teacher, so I understand, where they're coming from and how they feel. Right. And for me, I think that's a pretty big strength to understand, like, as they're staring at me, I know exactly what they're thinking. So try to make adjustments, during class.
What's your biggest weakness?
Weakness?
Yes.
Sometimes, when it comes to, especially, how I teach, I can kind of get engrossed in the subject, and sometimes just kind of lose track on, what I'm talking about, get off topic a little bit, because again, I personally can make connections to all kinds of different things when I'm talking about history or talking about whatever, so I can get off topic quite a bit. I do try to come back, whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes later, I try to bring it all back together. But sometimes I can get off topic and then kind of forget where I am, but that's just kind of part of who I am.
I think that's my favorite thing about when I had your class, which some people disagree, like, oh, I hate that he shares his opinions. I loved it because most teachers are like, oh no, but you're willing to like talk about it, and it stretches on to like 5, maybe 15 minutes, but it's definitely nice to know that like it's not like a robotic kind of thing. Like, you can actually like share your feelings about different opinions.
Well, and with history, I feel that that's how it should be.
Right. Like, it shouldn't be like, oh, we're talking about history, but you can't talk about history.
Right.
Okay. Next thing. How do you handle difficult students?
difficult students, for me, I just generally talk to them, give them an opportunity to kind of stop whatever behavior. If it doesn't, then I, kind of pull them out in the hallway. And for the most part, I've had very good success, just having kind of one-on-one conversations with them.
Right.
If it's a bigger group, it can be a little bit harder. I think for the most part, once you get to know me, I'm pretty kind of laid back. Maybe you can even tell by this podcast, right? My tone of voice, my facial
Neutral,
expressions.
bland.
I mean, I am what I am, and this is how it is in class. And I'm usually pretty calm, but I'm calm until I'm not. And then when I get to that point, then when I'm upset and when it needs to stop. And fortunately, I've had success throughout my career dealing with that, going that way.
What made you want to become a teacher? Like, did you grow up wanting to be a teacher?
And that's
usually
the
like every
thing
teacher.
is no, I never had that dream job, but I never had a dream job to begin with. I didn't want to be a policeman or an astronaut or whatever, right? I never really knew what I wanted to be. So going through college, I was a junior in college, and my advisor finally said something like, you have to choose like what classes you're going to take. And I really wasn't sure. But I started thinking about what I enjoy doing. Now going back to, like I said, when it came to, being a physical education or health teacher, I was thinking, what do I enjoy? And I enjoyed running. I enjoyed exercise. So I was thinking, what could I do? And then got to looking, and teaching was a kind of a direct route to either that or even coaching, which is what I ended up doing for, the last 15 years. So that was kind of, what made me kind of think about it. But again, I'd always been in school. It's the one thing I was comfortable with. So that's kind of what drew me to it. But no, this wasn't something that I'd always dreamed about. But fortunately for me, it was the right job. I don't question it, and never have questioned one time that I made the wrong choice.
So you're in it to win it.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
What's your class learning right now?
Class learning. Well, let's see. In conspiracy theory, we just started 9/11. Talking about
Okay.
was 9/11 a conspiracy? Just kind of learning about it. And then before that, we just talked about JFK. The JFK assassination. And so again, even in that class, I do kind of have a tendency to go with historical themes. I've had a couple students, and you know who you are, kind of talk about, hey, I feel like I'm in history class again. And yes, it kind of banks on that. And I think actually the next topic after we get done, it's going to be The Simpsons. That's going to be the first time
Why
I've
didn't
talked
we
about
talk
that.
about that?
I don't see, that's where I'm changing. I'm trying to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So I'm
Oh
looking
my
at how
gosh.
The Simpsons predict the future and all that kind of stuff.
And they actually, that text message alert that everyone just got?
Yes.
They predicted that in one of their
In The
episodes.
Simpsons they did?
Yeah, I seen it
Okay.
on my For You page on TikTok.
And so there's another one that we're going to have to look at.
I mean, you're gonna have to jot it down because it was like a big Amber Alert in The Simpsons, like where all their phones started going off,
Right.
and that literally just happened like 2 days ago.
Right.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's something I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I know that is going to be one of the next
That's
topics.
great because it literally predicts historic events.
Right.
All
And
the
there's
time,
several of
all
them.
the
A lot of
time.
them you don't even think about, but
Yeah, like didn't they predict COVID as well?
they predicted COVID, they predicted 9/11,
Donald
they
Trump.
predicted Trump. Yeah, there was several things that as you go back and look, they had a lot of good ideas.
Yeah. Okay, our last question to wrap it up.
Yes.
It's kind of went by fast. What is some wisdom you'd give to your students for the future?
Some wisdom. With this, I mean, the first thing, and I have to do it myself a lot of times too. First thing is, get your face out of your phone. There's a whole lot going on out there outside of the phone, outside of TikTok, outside of Snapchat, all that kind of stuff. So, number one, slow down, see what's going on in the world, and just enjoy. Because right now you feel like, you've got so much time, thinking about the future and all these kind of things. But, right now high school it's a great time. It really is. And I know right now, people just rolled their eyes. People just rolled their eyes and like, no,
Me
high
as
school.
well.
Exactly. As soon as I said that, like, no, he doesn't know. But I do know.
Yeah.
High school is, and it can be a very good time, very fun time. But again, you got to get involved. Get involved in whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's this podcast, whether it's anything, because honestly, right now, this is not something that I normally do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
It took a lot of convincing for him to be here right now.
Yeah, it does. But this is the type of thing, get out of your comfort zone a little bit, do things that you can enjoy, get out with people, and just enjoy high school. It can be a very fun time, and it'll, kind of propel you into other things as you go out, because you never know exactly what you're going to enjoy. But you experience in high school, if you don't like it, don't do it again. But when
Right.
you do, this is kind of where you can, start learning about what you enjoy and possibly what you want to do later on. So I say just get involved in high school. Go to the dances, go to the games, go to, get involved in whatever you can. So that would be my advice.
All right. Do you have any questions for me or anything?
Ooh, I don't. I didn't know this was going to be like a job interview. I have some questions
No.
ready, but no, I don't have any questions except for, so this is your second one, so how do you enjoy your podcast so far? I mean, this is number 2, so what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm loving it. Like, these won't be posted till after fall break, so
Okay.
that it's like a big thing and people don't just watch it and then be like, okay. But I'm actually loving it. It's something I do want to get into, like, on my own and, like, do
Right.
my own podcasts of just talking about relative things and, like, the trends and all that kind of stuff. But I like knowing about other people and not just... I wanted to start this because I feel like everyone has a different view on every teacher. So I was like, okay, well then let's just sit one-on-one with different teachers in OHS and get a real inside view.
Right.
So like when I do these interviews with teachers, I want them to feel free and open to talk about anything. Like that's why I don't want yes or no questions. I want
Right.
in-depth, detailed questions so that students can get more of a view on teachers.
There you go.
But
And
yeah.
again, and like I said, this is something you can do in high school. High school's giving you an opportunity to experiment
Yeah,
with this
it's
and
a
see if
great
you like it.
opportunity.
So I think it's awesome.
Well, that wraps it up for this podcast. Thank you for being here with us.
Very good. I
And-
loved it. It's fun.